Thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all having us out here today. My first Neshoba County Fair was the 1972 gubernatorial election. And subsequently, we seem to always find ourselves here at the Neshoba County Fair as a child. Oftentimes, my parents and I would have different candidates, so they would make sure that when we came that I got here in time to hear mine. And I remember one particular year, it was either 76 or 80, I can't remember, standing in that back corner cheering my guy on. So it's a real honor for me to be here today. I'm grateful for what Neshoba County does and traditions that they continue to hold on to. Also, when I was a child, 8 or 9, 10 coming up here, I also had spent the last couple of days with my son, who is also that age now, at a youth camp. And in that youth camp, I had a cabin full of boys, 4th, 5th graders. And that cabin full of boys have an expectation that we're going to provide a country for them that they are allowed to prosper in. They're going to have an expectation that they will be able to grow up and provide jobs for their families and their children. And so what I'm asking you to do as I speak here today is I'm asking you to please filter what I'm saying through the next generation of children. We absolutely positively must look ahead toward the future to see what kind of country that we're going to leave them. And the country that we're leaving them right now is one that is under attack. And that country our country has been corrupted, it has been distorted, and it has even been taken away the freedoms for which we have grown accustomed to. As American citizens, it is our duty and it is our responsibility to elect people who are willing to fight for the restoration of our Constitution and the liberties that it provides. I am one candidate who will do just that. We must believe that together we can rebuild the foundations of this great nation by applying truth, integrity, and a lot of sacrifice to Washington and by applying those same values to our own lives. We must not lose hope. We cannot lose hope. The main political parties have taken a fissure. They have taken a small crack in our difference of opinion, and they have created a canyon between us, the American people. And lost in that canyon are places and things that we can agree on. Lost in that canyon are issues where we can find agreement. We must repair the divide that has formed in our nation. We must begin this process by building upon a common foundation. And I believe that that common foundation begins with protecting our borders. I believe that that common foundation begins with balancing our national budget. And I believe that that common foundation begins by creating an environment that is conducive for small business to grow, prosper, and produce badly needed American jobs. The very sovereignty of our nation, I believe, is at risk. And it is ironic to see the federal government control and shut down the Gulf of Mexico, controlling who and what goes in and out. At the same token, our federal government allows drugs, guns, and even humans to be trafficked on our national borders with mere token resistance. Our Constitution says that our government should establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty. Our borders show that at the most basic level that our country is not doing that. The United States government's main responsibility is to restrain evil. It is to promote justice, and it is to preserve order. We must protect our borders, we must protect our citizens, and we must do it now. And we must do this before any immigration reform is passed in Washington, D.C. We must treat a war zone like a war zone and send our troops to defend the borders, give assistance to the enforcement agencies, and demand cross-agency cooperation. Financially, our national debt has ballooned to over $13 trillion. One plus trillion in deficit spending this year, more of the same the next. But this debt crisis is not our own. It is also global in scope. And while other countries are reducing their national debt, reducing their government size, we are expected to tolerate massive deficit spending, huge bailouts, and new government programs. America has always been a leader in democracy, finance, and industry. We should be leading other countries and showing them how to regain civil and financial stability. If you wonder where we're heading as a nation, you need look no further than the country of Greece, a country that was unwilling to sacrifice. And now they must rely on other countries to bail them out. If the United States of America chooses not to sacrifice and not make the tough choices now, we could lose our sovereignty just like Greece. We must send to Congress people that are willing to make the tough choices. I am that candidate. The third place that I think that we can find common ground and begin to rebuild the foundations of this great nation is in job creation. Nearly 3 years into this economic disaster, and Congress still has not addressed the job crisis, and they have not provided a stable environment for business. In fact, they've done just quite the opposite. As Congress continues to go about politics as usual, wasting tax dollars, and creating huge new bureaucracies like the healthcare bill, how out of touch is an agenda that spends trillions of dollars, wastes our money, and then does little to consider the American worker? Then gives us the largest tax increase in the history of America. 75% of those that will face a tax increase are small businesses. As citizens and as voters, we must be a catalyst for job creation by getting government out of our back pockets and out of the way of the American people. We must establish and encourage an environment that sends the message to the world and to our nation that it is safe to invest in America. We need domestic and international dollars invested here. They will go somewhere. They should go here.
That's right.
That's right. Instead of with other nations. We cannot let foreign nations reap the rewards of our government's irresponsibility. And I want to remind you that these problems did not start overnight. That for decades, we have watched the power shift in Washington. In my lifetime, I have seen the Democrats and the Republicans, and now the Democrats in power, and nothing changes. Both political parties have chosen the path of bailouts and deficit spending. Both have oppressed our children and grandchildren with $13 trillion in debt. And 3 years into this crisis, Congress still has not figured out how to best grow this economy to reduce the burden of this debt. Do you have confidence that the same political parties and the same career politicians that have created this mess will make the tough choices and fix the problems that are happening in our nation?
No.
No, I don't think so. So what is the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I'm asking you to do something decidedly different and elect me, Les Green, your conservative independent choice in Mississippi's 1st District. And I believe that together we can stop the insanity. Thank you for what you do for America. May we bless and honor God by the future choices that we make.